Welcome to Coach on a Couch, sponsored by Mid-State Technical College. Register today for best class selection at mstc.edu. Here's your host, Mike Wendland.
Full 9-game schedule coming up, well, hopefully 9, I guess. What are you looking for from your guys this season after kind of a stop and start 2020 to have a full slate of schedule for 2021?
Hopefully normalcy. We never know. We still got COVID rules. I just found out, they're still quarantining. There's still all that kind of stuff going on. So we're just hoping to have as much of a normal season as you possibly can. Last year it felt like you were playing your opponent every Friday night, and then you're also playing COVID. I was always waiting for my AD or my principal to come in to my classroom every day and say, hey, we're done, this is it. We're getting shut down. So I'm hoping for myself and for our team that we won't have that this year. Our JVs last year only got to play 3 games before they were shut down. So we're just hoping to have 9 games, have as much of a normal season as possible, hopefully punch a ticket to the playoffs and have a playoffs again that we missed out on last year.
Anthony, you talk about last year, you had some of those guys who were their seniors. They didn't really get a complete final year, but you have a lot of those guys that are now seniors this year. What are you looking for from them as they try and lead this team with this full 9 games?
Our junior class last year was kind of the glue that kind of kept us together. They showed up every day to work. They worked hard, and now they're seniors. Now we're expecting them to lead, to play, and to be very, very successful. They will all play. There's 12 seniors. They're all going to see the field for sure. That's the key part. Our sophomores, who are now juniors, they kind of missed out last year in that season, so they're kind of playing catch-up. Our sophomores are definitely playing catch-up from last year. So we're just hoping that everything kind of falls in place in our senior class. We will be senior-led, as I said, but we're going to have help from the senior, juniors, and sophomores this year.
And you talk about some of the seniors. One of them is going to be Landon Moe taking over for Shelvin, a quarterback. How are you going to replace the production that Tristan brought to you guys, both as a rusher and as a passer?
I always thought Tristan could throw the ball. His running style last year was kind of more of a surprise. As the season went on, it was evident that he could do it. Landon Moe this year he always could run. It's been his arm strength and his decision making, and he's come a long way this offseason, working very hard. So he's going to have to do both, be a dual threat quarterback. In our offense, you've got to be able to do both. You got to be able to run and throw, and we put a lot of pressure on our quarterbacks. But I'm always in their ear trying to help them. Sometimes motivate some different ways, of course. But he's done a good job so far.
And then looking toward the other side of the ball, this defensive squad, you guys have always been known for having top-tier defenses ever since you've come to the school. What are you looking for these guys this year, especially with a pretty tough CWC large?
Our defensive front will be senior-led. We'll have some other guys playing, but it's going to be a senior-dominated defensive line. Our outside linebacker will be very tough. Our secondary will be younger. There's going to probably be some sophomores and some juniors playing. Maybe a senior or two, a lot of sophomores and a lot of juniors. So then our inside linebackers, we got Peter Warner's coming back. I think he was a first team all-conference last year, second team. We expect a big thing out of Peter Warner. And then up front, we call him Jerry Lucht. Jerry Lucht and Suchinski will be kind of our 2 guys, our bookend DNs that are going to we'll have a chance to have a successful season. If those guys can stay healthy, we'll take our chances up the front, up the middle.
Absolutely, and of course now realignment was last year, but again with everything kind of truncated, you didn't get a chance to really break in the new conference at all. What are you looking for this year now? You had a full regular year of Stratford, a full regular year of Spencer in the team, and with teams like Iola now in the small, what are you looking for out of this conference?
Well, we actually played our whole conference schedule except for Wittenberg, which we've known them for 10 years now. They've been in the old CWC, so we got everybody. We played everybody last year. We've played a lot of those teams in the playoffs. Truthfully, the only team that we for the first time ever seeing was Nakusa. Was the first team that we never saw before. So we're pretty familiar with all the teams that we're going to see. We're just hoping, of course, that we can see them all this year and we get to play those games.
And then since you didn't see Wittenberg last year, you told me last week that they were one of the top teams. What are you looking for from some of those top teams that are going to be compete with you guys for that conference championship?
They're always big and physical. Those farm schools always seem like they can roll them out. Spencer's always got great running backs. Wittenberg's always big up front. They have some talent, I know, coming back from what I've been told. Stratford, they just seem to just grow big boys up there for some reason. Whatever it is, they just always got some big boys. So it's always a very physical conference. You got to play your A game every Friday night, which is exciting. There's no cakewalks. There's no hey, This one's easy, whatever. We always prepare the same way, though. That's always a key thing in here at our program is we don't ever tell the kids who they're playing. They know who they're playing. And they know that we're going to prepare the same way. And that I think, in my own opinion, helps us from the peaks and valleys of the season. Just kind of stay steady and just keep getting better every day.
And how does your non-conference schedule play into that? With having to go up to a place like Medford, who's typically a pretty solid school, how does that help you guys go into the conference
We were
season?
supposed to play Antigo, but 2 minutes before this interview, I was told we're no longer playing Antigo. So Antigo and Medford, they're bigger schools. Usually, and traditionally, they've been pretty solid teams. I know Medford's had some success the last couple of years. Looked at the roster going into this season. They lost some size, but they were some big boys up there. So we're gonna have our hands full. I have not seen any film from them, of course, yet this year. We'll take care of them starting next week. But our non-conference schedule is always we try to schedule tougher teams, good competition. I don't want to travel 4 hours for a game, so we're trying to find good quality teams, and there's lots of them around here who are willing to play us and gives a good game.
And then I guess, what have you been telling your guys throughout these first couple weeks of practices to get them ready for the season with the 2 days and with the season already upon us, the summer already pretty much over? What have you been telling these guys?
90% of football is from the neck up. We made a lot of mistakes in the scrimmage on Friday. It may not look like it, but I think out of the 40 plays offensively we ran, I think we made a mistake somewhere on the field 30 out of 40 times. That's 75%. We can't have that. And we've been trying to hammer that home. That's the mental part of football. A lot of people always think football is so difficult because it's so physical. It is physical, don't get me wrong, but it is a mental game. And you got to have all 11 players clicking on the same cylinders. And that's the key part. If one guy makes a mistake, it all falls apart. That's why I always say it's the ultimate team game. You can't have one guy make a mistake, and it's bad things can happen. So we're trying to fix those mistakes that we made on Friday and be solid, try to play as close to a perfect game as we can on Friday night.
Absolutely, and of course, going into the season, of course, the goal is always going to be a state championship. I guess, what is going to be your biggest obstacle to trying to get there?
Well, we never usually talk about that. Our first goal always is punch our ticket to the playoffs, chase conference, and then once you make it into the playoffs, make the run as long as you possibly can. Obstacles, there's always obstacles. Just your own team. And this year, of course, we're going to have COVID again. Injuries always play a role. Your team thinking that they're better than they are, having that false sense of security. So we're always fighting all those things. Hey, we're trying to climb the mountaintop. I told the kids all the time, our goal is not to peak in August. Our goal is to peak, in November. Hopefully, when we get to November, we're peaking in November. That's what you got to try to do and try to get better every day.
Absolutely, Coach. Again, thanks a lot. Thanks you for letting us broadcast all these games this year. We're looking forward to it, and good luck starting Friday.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. That's Coach Mark Lusic of the Amherst Falcons with your preseason interview. Falcons football is starting hopefully Friday night right here on Zaleski Sports.